Howdy folks, and welcome out to the claim. It's a great day to be out here, and what we're going to be doing is exploring this new wash down here. And you can see my ATV parked off in the distance there on that sandbar. There's a lot of interesting geologic features. Now normally there's never any water in here except during the monsoon when everything is flash flooding. So it carries a lot of the material from down in the hills through this wash and around the corner. So what I want to do is show you what this wash looks like. It's really super cool, so let's check it out. Okay, so we're looking downstream on the sandbar. As it flows down this way, it's actually making a curve, which I'll show you here in just a few minutes. You can see where the ATV is parked, it's actually sitting on a sandbar. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly pan as we move across here so you can actually see this sandbar. Now everything in front of us is, you see the coarser rock, which is actually part of the fast water as the stream flows, or more like flash flooding flows down through this. Okay, and then as I come over here, you can see further upstream how this wash flows around. Again, you can see the coarser material dotted along here. That's the fast water. And then, of course, on the inside curve, where most of your gold should deposit, is down in this zone here where the sandbar is. Now, I expect to see a lot of flood gold through here. So now let's go down in the wash and check it out a little more close up. Now we are looking up the wash before it actually makes the curve. So this is the flow coming down, and the curve is actually starting behind where the camera is sitting. Now, as we're walking along the wash, you can actually see the material down here. See all the red zone here? That's the stuff that usually contains the gold. You see all the little layers of gravel mixed in with the red? As we walk along here, we can see all that. And then down below, we actually have, you know, cobbles and rock sitting on false bedrock, which is caliche down here as well. So this is what this stuff kind of looks like. It's mostly gneiss and schist, a little bit of quartzite, things of that sort. That's the kind of rocks that we have here. I'm going to swing around to the other side here. You can see more of the cobbles as we're running down, and you see it all mixed in with the reddish zones as we slowly walk down the wash. So now we're walking down the wash, heading towards the bend. And if you look off to the side over here, we got a whole bunch of reddish looking dirt along the wall. And of course the flash flood's been slowly, you know, clearing that out and washing it, actually expanding the width of this wash. So as we come over here, we'll start walking in the area where the fast water is, and you can start to see all the heavier rocks that are falling here. Now I would expect to probably find some gold through this area too as well, as we're walking down through here. But now what's even more interesting is we're starting to see this sandbar occurring off to the right over here. So as we're walking down through the fast water, we're seeing the deposition of sand as we move in closer. So I'll just stop here for a second and kind of pan around and show you the wall here. Now you can see the layering of rock down here, okay? And you can see where the boulders are and the stones are at, and then finer ones, and that's probably where the gold is sitting, right in this zone. But as we move further up, it's mostly just pretty much mud. I wouldn't expect to find a whole lot there. So I think most of your gold is going to be trapped, you know, down here in this lower area. So let's swing around over here to the sandbar, okay? And if you come up here close to the sandbar, you're going to just see actual deposits of black sand. So just check this out here. Right here in front of me, where my hand is a whole rift of black sand. And you can see that in the photo. So that tells me that this area here is worth digging up because it's got a high content of black sand. If the black sand is depositing here and showing like this, it's a pretty good possibility that there actually might be some fine flood gold mixed in it. So what we'll do is we'll take a sample of this and see if we get any gold. So let's go ahead and continue on our adventure downstream. And as we walk further down, okay, we're gonna come across an area where there's a lot of coarse rock. And we actually have exposed caliche, or a false bedrock. And so I would imagine that as this wash expands, you can see the caliche right in here, this white area, and you can see the rock that's actually cemented right in there, okay? So you actually get a view of that, okay? So that's probably worth sucking up, especially on the back side of this, right in this zone here, okay? See all the gravels? And also in this, and also up here on the front part, down in this zone here. So this might be an area to check out as well. So we'll probably sample that too. So this is all the fast water running through here. And if I move a little bit to the right, you'll actually see the end of the sandbar. In fact, probably just right up here where the ATV is parked. The sandbar kind of terminates, and then it turns into more coarser material like the rest of the wash. So we're going to walk on down here, and this is what I find absolutely amazing. It's a natural sluice box. Check this out, guys. Here we have the wash flowing straight down into what is a natural sluice box. And if we get down real close, we'll actually see how coarse the rock and material is as we're flowing through here. And you can see little spots of red zones and things of that sort. Interesting iron deposits, and loaded with black colored material. Obviously that's black sand, and you can see how cool this looks. Now let's see if we can get down here and kind of take a look a little closer up, and you can see these rocks right here. If I just move it out of the way, see the black sand and stuff right down in there. So that's probably another good place to prospect. Okay, so we'll kind of pan this out. Now, look at this wash looking back uphill. This looks pretty darn cool, doesn't it? Wow, perfect place for gold deposit all throughout up here. That's awesome, totally awesome. All right, so we're gonna swing around here. And now we're going to look at the end of this wash, okay? And this is where it widens out slightly. So this is a low pressure zone. And again, lots and lots of black sand here. In fact, here's a really big deposit. I get my shadow out of the way here. And you can see that. Look at all the black material. And it's coarse black sand. It's not fine stuff. And as we walk further down, we can actually see more. And now I'm starting to see black sand actually on the surface. So this whole area is just worth prospecting. It looks like it's got some pretty good potential. Now, most of you recognize me for my wash plant videos, but I do love dry washing, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. What I like about dry washing is that I'm able to fold it up. It's really compact and it fits on the ATV. So if you're going to go out prospecting, dry washing is one of the best ways to actually prove a ground before you bring in the larger equipment to run volume. So that's what we're going to do here today. Now, dry washing is not nearly as accurate as a wash plant. You know, on a best day, it's probably only about 70% accuracy, okay, in terms of recovery. But at least it gives you some idea of what's going on here and what if it's worth pursuing any further. So that's what we're going to do. We'll get this all fired up and start running some material. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make a little trench across the sandbar here into the black sand. There's some larger rock right here that indicates that there's obviously been a little bit of fast water moving through here, and there's some gravels. So we'll kind of take all that into consideration, go right into that black sand, run through the dry washer, and see what we get. There's also a lot of black sand in this sample too. Okay, it looks like we ran about 3 buckets worth of dirt through the dry washer, so we'll go ahead and do a clean out and see what we get. Now, for those of you who are kind of wondering what's going on here with this screen on the dry washer, well, that's just a new development that I applied, and I have a video for it. So if you want to go to my channel and check out dry washing and how to improve recovery, that's what that is all about. But I won't get into the talk about that today. But anyway, this helps me recover some of the fine gold that exists out here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and rake some of these heavier rocks away from this area here. You can see the exposed caliche bedrock right here. So we'll just kind of suck up all this area around it and also a little bit in front of it as well. So we'll go ahead and just kind of rake off some of these heavier rocks so we can get down to the good stuff and just kind of take our samples. Lots of black sand. Big pile of black sand right in here. Okay, we put a pretty good dent in it here, as well as some behind the bedrock as well. So we'll run it through the dry washer and see what we get. So now we're down here in this natural sluice box. So I've chosen this area to prospect. You can see the rocks down here, and it looks like we have, obviously it was moving some material, the heavier rocks are laid, and in between these is a bunch of black sand mixed in. So I have a feeling that if there's going to be any gold, it should be kind of laying in this area here. So okay, come finished up the job here. We got about 2 5-gallon bucketfuls worth of dirt, so we'll go ahead and run that through the dry washer. We did a pretty good amount of work. It looks like we kind of sucked up an area about 6 or 8 feet in length and a couple of feet across. Okay, it's getting a little late in the afternoon, so we'll go ahead and start panning our samples from today. So we'll go ahead and dump in some water. What I like about dry washing, it doesn't really require a whole lot. Usually just about a gallon or so of water to make it all happen. So I always carry a couple of gallons with me. So we'll go ahead and start with the first pan, which is the material that was up on that sandy curve there, where we had that bend, and there was a lot of black sand showing. So what I've done is I've taken this little screen mesh and kind of separated the coarse from the finer stuff here, and you can see you see all that just black sand just absolutely just loaded in there, just unbelievable. So we'll go ahead and pan that. Well, I like to kind of, when I'm doing dry washing, I like to kind of separate things out, so that way it makes it a little easier, especially when you're dealing with a lot of fine stuff. So we'll go ahead and just kind of pan this down here, the coarse material, see if there really is any nuggets. I haven't really had any luck doing, finding nuggets out here in this section, so, but you never know. So we'll just pan this out real quick. Get all the blonde material out, and we're kind of getting down to the black sand. As you can see here, look at the, you just see the black sand here. A lot of nice big chunks of it too. So looking pretty good. A couple of small little pieces of garnet in there as well. So we'll go ahead and see if we can, let me turn around here a little bit. We'll go ahead, see if we can cut this down a little bit more, and let's see if there's any gold. I kind of doubt there will be, but you never know. Yeah, sorry about that. You're in the shadows there. Yeah. And just as expected, no gold. Okay, all right, that's good. All right, so now we'll go ahead and take the sandy stuff, and we'll go ahead and run this stuff through, because this is the stuff that's going to actually produce for sure, because basically we're kind of dealing with flood gold. So we'll go ahead and give this a good mix. And the level of black sand, look at this, guys. I mean, just unbelievable. Just the whole pan is just full of black sand. So it's going to be a little challenging to try to get down to the gold. It may be just suspended in the black sand, so it's going to be really tough to evaluate here. But we'll give it a shot, see what we get. We'll just go ahead and cut on down. Okay, now I'm starting to see some gold. So we'll go ahead and stop right there, and we'll go ahead and swish it around. See if we can do it so that you can see it without the, I guess we got the wrong angle here. There we go. Not a whole lot. There's a few little micro dots right in through here. You can see that little speck right there, and maybe another one over here, but that's really about it. So not a lot. I'm sure there's still some suspended in the black sand, but that's about it for that. Now we're panning the material that was over by that bedrock area, a nice white area that we cleaned out. So we'll see if there's anything better in this. The last sample obviously had more flood gold in it, but this is, again, just absolutely loaded with black sand. So it's going to again be really challenging to actually keep the gold in the pan. It's mostly probably going to be suspended with the black sand. Okay, we're finally cutting down, and you can already see a little speck of gold. Let me get the sun on it just right here. See a little speck of gold right here, starting to show. And actually we got quite a few fine little speckles here. This is kind of unusual for a dry washer to pick up this kind of fine gold. So there's definitely some finds. Here's a nice little piece right here. You can see a nice little piece right there. Yeah, and there's a couple more. So a few little dots that you can see, and a whole bunch of little fine stuff. So not too bad for just about a couple of buckets. Okay, so now we're going to start panning the material that came from that gulch down there that kind of formed like a natural sluice box. So we'll go ahead and see how this is doing. Again, it's like all the others, just absolutely just loaded with black sand. And I'm sure there's little micro pieces of gold that I can't even see that are probably getting washed out because it's so micro fine. It's even more stunning than the dry washer picks it up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and swish this around, see if we can get any gold out of this. Try the lower part. Oh yeah, you can already see here, if I can bring it up to the camera, you can see little bits right here, little tiny specks. You can see it just floating right there. See that little piece? So we've got at least one little piece there. And now, oh yeah, here's another couple of really nice ones right here, right here, right here. And we got one sitting right up here on top. See that? So this is the wad. Look at this. Wow. Oh yeah, this has got lots of gold. And this is only like a less than 2 5-gallon buckets worth of dirt. Oh boy, look at that. Oh yeah, let's see if we can try to get that up there and get a little nicer display going here. Oh, woohoo! Oh yeah, this is looking real good, folks. Real good. Really, really, really good. Oh yeah, look at this. So that just goes to show nature's sluice box is really working good. Let's see if I can bring this up to you so you can really start to see just all the bits of gold in here. Unbelievable. In fact, let me see if I can put it in the shade. Maybe it'll show up a little better. I don't know. But you get the idea that, look at that, just absolutely loaded. Almost a picker, but not quite. But look at that, folks. Unbelievable. Look at those pieces. Wow. Pretty nice there. So I would say the upper part of this wash was so-so. The middle part was, okay. But let me tell you, that natural gulch down there, that's the ticket right there. Woo! Boy, get that wash plant in there and really pump some material through there and get lots of nice gold. That's pretty amazing, folks. Well, folks, it's getting late in the afternoon and it's time to pack it all up. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that way you can get future updates on all my mining adventures that we have out here. In the meantime, I wish you the very best in your prospecting adventures. Get out there and find some gold, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.